it's hard to hold because it works a whole bunch of different muscles. All right. So on one hand, you got all the stuff going on in the ankle and this hip. On this leg, I guess not on one hand, but on one leg and then the other leg, we've got this sort of side split position building. You're feeling a little bit of stretch here in the groin and the hamstrings. And then, especially if your heel comes up, you're trying to balance going forward and back because you don't have that much holding you and keeping you balanced. Your butt is behind you, your chest is forward. It's hard to stay in this position. That is why this is a really important position to practice because it works so many different muscles, at least a little bit, and it helps you with balance. It helps you with moving from side to side. If you used to do sports where you have to dodge somebody, or I don't know, I can't think of a good example right now. Football, basketball, all those skills where you're like trying to move around somebody. It's really good to have strong hips, strong knees, good balance forward and back, and good balance side to side. So those skills are also kind of the ones that you need to focus on a little bit to make sure you get progress in your side splits. For primarily this one right here. All right. So we're strengthening all of those muscles, strengthening the joints, strengthening your control and mobility all at the same time. And the main way to do that in Cossack switches is to move from side to side. All right. Kind of mentioned this earlier. If you put your hands down and give yourself support, if you try to keep your butt as low as possible, you get the most difficult version of this exercise. If you try to really stand up straight, you get an even harder version of the exercise. If you take your hands and you bring it to your chest, then you get the most difficult version of this exercise, unless you're carrying a whole bunch of weight. But if you want to make it easier, or if you have something particularly painful in your knee joint, you can come up, stick your butt higher into the air, and come over and back down. All right. You can do a full squat and come back down. Maybe you have really strong legs, but not great mobility. The squat is a cool way to help you get to the other side. And I have absolutely no idea how many of these we've done, but if you've been following along, you've been doing a whole bunch of these. That probably means you're a little sweaty, your muscles are warm, you're maybe a little bit out of breath, but maybe it's just me out of breath because I talk so much and don't breathe. And which means we are ready to move on into our stretches. The first stretch we're going to do is the hamstring stretch. So go ahead, grab a pillow, grab a cushion, grab something to pad your knee. We're going to do the hamstring stretch with one of our knees down. And the reason why we do this variation is because we can get gravity to do a lot of work by having the upper body pull us down. Now demonstrate it this way. Gravity is pulling all of this down, and you're also really close to the ground so you can stay stable. All right. We don't do the seated variation, which kind of looks like this, mostly because gravity doesn't do that much work. And most of the time somebody's in this kind of stretch and you're not feeling the hamstrings at all. You're just feeling like your upper back going, ugh. And that's where I started. So I totally understand. And that's why I emphasize doing it this way. All right. If you have a cushion, if you have a towel, if you have a sofa thing, a pillow, an old slipper, old sneakers that you don't care about, you can just slip that underneath your knee and we are ready to go. I'm gonna check the chat real quick. Oh, Gigi, welcome back. Hello, it's good to see you. I need to turn up the brightness on these phones. I can't read. Riva Muma, welcome. All right, Summer, thank you for following. Kiss my butterfly, welcome. All right. Hey, Mehmet, welcome. All right, let's get into the hamstring stretch. We had plenty of time to get stuff. Let's go. We're gonna start by, actually, I'm gonna face you first. We're gonna start by trying to keep our hips pointed directly this way, all right? A lot of the time when people are learning like a side split or like stuff that requires both legs to kind of move, people tend to do something like this where they really try to stick one leg really far away, and that forces this bag leg to kind of open up. We want to keep the hips so that they are in a straight line. Okay, so that means if this is your right hip bone and this is your left hip bone, it's making a straight line across your body. It's real easy to just sort of start twisting so that your right hip bone is here and then your left hip bone is way back behind it. That is not what we want. That is not how you get the best hamstring stretch. All right, so square up those hips, keep them there, don't move. Stick that other leg that you want to stretch in front of you and then focus on the belly button. focus on bringing the belly button down to your leg. And we talk about the belly button a lot, and we'll continue to talk about the belly button because the belly button is closest to your hips right here. There's not a lot of cheating you can do with your belly button because your hips are here and your belly button's like right here. It's like 2 inches or like 5 centimeters apart. And if we do that same exact stretch right here, but then I talk about my chest, look at how much your chest can move. This is just pretending like you have a whole different stretch, right? The belly button, it didn't go anywhere. Chest flew up and down. Same with that. And so I want you to focus on your belly button and bring it down to the ground. All right, let's take a nice big deep breath and remember to breathe. Exhale and hopefully get a little bit deeper into that stretch. And now that we've hung out here for a little bit, it's time to start stretching. We do 30 seconds. We hold, I don't know why I stuck up 4 fingers. We hold this for 30 seconds and we try to apply steady pressure to the stretch and try to get a little bit deeper as we go. That's it. Let's go. I'll count you down 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. If you're feeling discomfort, that's normal. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay, come on out of that stretch. Oh, okay, you did that right. Your hamstrings were really feeling that stretch. Maybe you were flexing these muscles in the front of the hip, trying to pull your upper body down. Maybe you were clenching your abs, trying to pull your body down into the stretch. And maybe your abs are feeling tense from really trying to bring yourself down to that leg. Those are all good signs. If you don't feel most of those things, that's okay. As long as you felt a little bit of the hamstring stretch, we're going in the right direction. All right. So let's switch over to the other side and finish up the hamstring stretch. Whew. One more time. I'll just talk us through it real quick. Try to keep that upper body straight at the beginning. Stick this leg directly out in front of you. Square up the hips so that it's not open like this. It's closed. Your hips go straight across your body this way. And fold and bring your belly button down. Go as deep as you can. Feel that stretch build in your hamstring. Take a nice big deep breath. Relax. See if you get a little bit deeper. And focus on that belly button. Try to bring it down. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Breathe. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on up and out of that stretch. You did it right. Your hamstring stretch was really intense, but as soon as you got out of it, it's like, oh, relief. I'm chilling. It's okay. And hopefully that's what's happening for you. Let's talk about form real quick. I know I said try to keep your belly button the focus, and that does not mean to totally bend and arch your back. You can if you want. It's not a big deal if you do. But the straighter you keep your back, the more leverage you will feel. What that means is, how do I say this? If you take your arm, you stick it all the way out in front of you, your arm's going to feel way more tired here at the shoulder than if you had your arm like this and your shoulder's probably going chill. This is fine, right? Same idea. When you do that with your upper body and you fully extend it and you lean forward, it's going to be much more tiring at the low back, at the hips, and you're going to feel way more pressure from gravity bringing you down. If you bend and contract and you get small, more of that weight is going to shrink towards your hips. And it's going to feel like a less intense stretch. Okay, so even though it feels like your chest is getting closer to the ground and you're so much deeper into the stretch, you'll feel the stretch more and it'll be a more intense stretch If you try to straighten out your back a little bit. All right, hamstring stretch is done. That cushion, we can get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. We're not gonna use it, but we're gonna sit right back down on the floor, so don't worry. Oh. Next stretch we're gonna do is the butterfly stretch. And it looks like this. We're gonna pull our feet together. Our knees are gonna come flying up into the air, and we're gonna try to open up our groin, which means try to bring the knees to the ground. And this position is typically what you see if you see like high schoolers running in the park and they've done a stretch. It's not the most effective way to do that stretch. So I'm going to show you the better way. The first thing you got to do is get to a wall. And I hope you have access to a wall. You really don't need that much, just enough for your shoulders and your butt to push against. And hopefully it's a stable, solid wall. We're going to put our hips, shoulders, head against this wall. I mean, all I've got is a door. But once you are here, let's get back into that same position. Bring your feet together, pull them in. You'll see the knees pop up. What we're trying to do in the butterfly position is to stretch out the groin, everything down here. And one of the ways to do that is to use the muscles of your outer thighs and your glutes to pull your knees down and open. And we want to strengthen you at every possible opportunity. So I want you to try that. Try to bring your knees down using your muscles in the hips and in the thighs and in the glutes, and open, 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 open. You'll notice my feet started touching each other. And now, because I'm opening them up, they are completely open like this. I mean, completely open. They're like a book, pretending to read. All right. Once you have done this and your muscles are working and you're firing real hard, make sure your back and hips are still touching the wall. Then take your hands and apply pressure into your legs. If you do this right, your shoulder and your head will start feeling pressure and you're going to be pushing against the wall. That'll make your arms apply so much more pressure. All right, that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, stop. You can pull your legs away, but I want you to notice where your knees are right now, or before you pulled your arms away. Is this lower than any other time you've tried it? If this is your first time trying against the wall, if you're a regular, then this does not apply to you. But this is one of your first times seeing this variation of the stretch. Do you feel like you got deeper into the butterfly stretch further than you've ever gotten? Let me know in the chat. All right. If you hung out here for a while and you really flex those muscles, it's sort of like, I don't know if you've tried this as a child, where you like stick your arms in the door frame and like try to push against the door frame, and then at some point when you let go, your arms magically float up. If that is totally foreign to you, then maybe I'm like an old child and we didn't have enough toys and we were just doing weird things with door frames. But that's a weird tangent to go down, so we don't even talk about that. If you have experienced that, you'll know that the hips probably, after holding that stretch and holding that contraction for long enough, they just didn't want to move. They wanted to keep staying open and be weird. So one of the quick ways to get out of that is just to shake your legs, or to force them to move, or to take your hands and make them move a little bit. And then all of a sudden your legs will be like magic and they'll be normal again. I don't think I did a great job of explaining that, but that's okay. We can just move on because I'll just re-explain it tomorrow better. All right, exercise number 3 is the standing pancake. Once your legs are back to normal and kind of functioning, we're going to do a stretch that looks basically like this. We're going to open up our legs. Doesn't really matter how wide you open them. You do want to get them wider as we go, but where you are today is not that important. As long as the trend line, the progression is happening, it's all good. Fold at the hips, bring your upper body down, and try to bring that upper body in between your legs like so. It is really hard. And if you can't do it, that makes you pretty normal. So don't feel bad about it. Anything at all, ever, when you're doing stuff with me. And yeah, the reason why we do this standing variation is because it's a really hard stretch. And when you do the standing variation, we have gravity doing a lot of work to help us. We sort of talked about this earlier, where the straighter your back, the more leverage you'll feel from gravity and the more pressure you'll get from gravity to help you get into these deeper stretches. All right, so once you're here, you have a couple of options. We're trying to bring the belly button basically down to the ground. And it's impossible for your belly button to reach the ground unless you're also doing a side split at the same time. But I just want you to pretend like you're trying to bring the belly button down. Realistically, your upper body will just flop this way so that your head kind of goes towards your legs. And that's all we're aiming for. You can do this a bunch of different ways. You can sort of stick your butt back, stick your arms up, feel that leverage building, helping to pull you down, and this is a perfectly good version of the standing pancake stretch. If you're feeling strong, you want to work really hard in the next 30 seconds, you can grab your leg, you can pull yourself down. And if you do this, know that your back will probably bend a little bit. Try to keep it a little bit straighter if you can. And try to point your butt up into the air as much as possible to help you fold forward. All right, that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. And you can also switch at any time, go to an easier variation. It doesn't have to be pure suffering. It's just a little bit of suffering. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh man, I'm falling. 1. I'm coming out of the stretch and relax for a second. Shake out the legs. Do a little cowboy dance. I don't actually know what those are called. I'm just making weird jokes. All right. Shake out the legs. Shake out the arms. If you did that right, there's too many places you're feeling the stretch. One, in the hamstring and the back of the leg. And you'll feel that anytime you stretch and you bend forward. That's because the hamstrings kind of connect from the bottom of your butt to right below your knee. So anytime you do any bending whatsoever, it doesn't matter where your legs are, whether it's together doing the hamstring stretch or apart doing the hamstring stretch, they're going to feel it. They're going to suffer. They're going to be unhappy. And that's why we train. The other place we're going to feel the stretch is on the inner thighs, the inside of the legs. And that's because we're trying to open up our legs. And whew, we do this before we do the side splits because we're trying to make sure that by the time we get to the side splits, all the muscles that we're working in the side splits have been used, have been warmed up, have gotten a little bit of blood flow, a little bit of practice. And that's why we do all the things that we do before we actually get to the side splits. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're mildly entertained at least. And I'm going to come over and check the chat real quick because I feel like I've been away for quite a while. Queen R says this is a great stretch, but she might have said that quite a while ago because I've been so far away. So I'm just going to, go let that be. Okay. Hamon or Jamin says, doing the butterfly stretch against the wall definitely helped to get my knees lower. Awesome. Amazing. I think one of the greatest things I've learned about fitness over the last couple of months is your body is capable of doing so much and you just had absolutely no idea until somebody gives you like that right piece of random information and you're like, oh, huh. I always thought I wasn't flexible, but I guess I was just never really sure how to do the thing at all because nobody told me how to do it. And that's happened so much to me in the past 2 months. I've been doing calisthenics training for 2 months and trying to rebuild strength because I haven't really trained in like 10 years. And for a moment, I was like, oh, my elbows are going to be in pain. So I should take it nice and gentle because I just did like 3 reps of those. And my elbows are already hurting. So I guess I'm going to be stuck at this for a long time. I have, in the last 2 months, gone way far past anything I expected from that day one starting point. And all I needed was to like actually spend time thinking about the thing that I want to do, practice a little bit for me to realize that all of the fear I had was just me in hypothetical thinking too much mode and just not having the information I needed about my own body because I just wasn't doing anything. And suddenly I wanted to do stuff, and I was like, oh, that looks like it's really hard. But turns out my body was capable of doing it, and I was just dumb. Making assumptions. Okay, that's a long tangential story. Let's get into stretch number 4. We are doing the figure 4 stretch or the pigeon stretch. The figure 4 looks a little bit like this. We're bringing the ankle across our bodies, and it's called the figure 4 because when you do that, this kind of makes your legs look like the number 4. I don't know how the camera is mirrored or not on YouTube and TikTok, so this might look like the number 9 to you. Actually, is that? I have no. 4, yeah, 4 and 9 look like the same number. So when my legs all bent like this, it's the same. All right, whatever. Let's move on. We are bringing this ankle up, and we're trying to bring our chest down to that leg, and it's going to look a little bit like this. Okay, we're going to work on stretching this outer hip area, a little bit on this internal hip area, depending on like how your flexibility in that leg is. And there might be a little bit in the low back, depending on how much you're trying to bring your chest down to the ground. That is the basics of the stretch. There's 2 ways to do this, one on your back and one on your chest-ish. And I'll show you the chest one because I'm already facing. We're going to bring that leg across the body, just like we said. We're going to try and straighten out this back leg as much as possible. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It can be out a little bit like this. And what I want you to do is try to push this ankle away from you so that this ankle is, or this leg is running directly left to right when you put your chest on top. All right. Now, I want you to try to keep your hips low and bring your chest down. This is called a pigeon stretch if you're going to Google it. And it's very common in yoga. And does a great job of stretching out this glute muscle right here, working that hip joint. And the main thing to be concerned about is when you hang out here and you relax a little bit, you can get very comfortable. If you get too comfortable, this leg will start folding in and your hamstring will touch your calves. And then you can just like hang out here and just be chilling, feeling no stretch at all. So make sure keep this ankle pushed away from you to feel that maximum stretch. If you push really far, you're not going to get any stretch at all because you just won't even be able to start. But make sure that you are feeling a stretch when you're doing this. All right. So that is the version with your chest down. Let's do the version with your back to the ground. Looks a little bit like this. So we're going to actually rotate this way. Ugh. We're going to take the leg we're going to stretch. We're going to cross it over to the opposite knee. We're going to stick our arms in through the legs and pull on that knee and apply pressure. So in this variation, we are trying to pull the leg to our body. In the previous variation, we're letting gravity do all the work. And for the most part, I love it when gravity is doing all the work. But this is one of those instances where I feel like it's easier to feel the stretch, and I feel a much more intense stretch when I am doing it on my back. All right. We have demonstrated, we've talked. You can pick your variation. I encourage you to experiment. Do both if you want. Maybe not today, but today and tomorrow. Do one of each. Whatever it is that you decide to do, we're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Let's get into position. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Remember to breathe, but don't get too comfortable. Don't like start taking a nap because especially if you're doing the on your back variation, if you close your eyes and you just start counting 12, 11, it's real easy to let go of the stretch. Keep that stretch going. 8, 7, 6, but don't forget to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, I don't know if it's as much of a struggle for you guys to balance breathing and stretching. It is for me because I talk as well, and I have to figure out how to balance all the words coming out of my mouth with breathing and also counting. And all right, let's switch to the other side. So maybe it's not an issue, but just remember you gotta breathe. Breathing helps you relax. The less you breathe, the more tense your body is gonna be, and the more tense it is, the less likely it is to stretch. All right. Cross the leg over, reach your arms through. Let's go 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember, don't get too comfortable. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Put those legs down. And guess what? We just finished all the stretches, all the different things that we're going to do before we do the actual side splits. So if you've been wondering, gosh darn it, when is he going to actually do the side splits? I've been waiting this whole time. You're in for a surprise. We are doing them right now. We've been doing all this stuff to prepare our bodies because the side splits are really hard. They're really intense. And we want to make sure that all the different joints, your knees, your hips, everything has been warmed up, has been moving, has been doing stuff for a little bit before we get into the side splits. Because the side splits put a lot of pressure on the knee joints, put a lot of pressure on the hip joints. Obviously, all the different muscles we already stretched. And, you know, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I don't want you to feel bad getting into the positions. So I want to make sure you're prepared so that you're ready for whatever is to come. All right. I'm gonna look at the chat one more time. Hamon Jamin said, doing this with socks made me slip even further. I think that came in when we were doing standing pancake and I just forgot to talk about it. Yeah, socks are really difficult. Sometimes when your floor is cold, you really want the socks. Other times, socks make the standing pancake and the side splits a little bit difficult. So definitely, if you have something really slippery going on underneath your feet, you want to have enough friction that you don't slide when you don't want to, but you want to be able to break the friction so that you can get into a deeper side split right after this. All right. And let's see. Thank you, Felicia, for following. Travel Darcy says, "Oh, it's a struggle for some moves for me. That's normal. These are all hard moves." All right. Oh, it's time. It's time for the side splits. I don't think I have anything else to respond to, so let's get into it. Before we get full into the side split, let's talk about safety real quick. When you are in a deep position like this, you start losing balance and you fall forward. It's probably okay for you to catch yourself this way, but if you start falling backwards, it's a lot harder to catch yourself. So what I recommend is to get really close to that wall that we were using for the butterfly earlier and get close enough that if you stick your butt back, your butt can touch the wall. That way, if you fall backwards, and we have like a matrix moment, we're falling and falling and falling, the wall will catch you and it'll keep you safe. All right. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to move away from the wall just a little bit so I have a little bit more room. And let's get into the side splits. Open up those legs nice and wide until it's a little bit uncomfortable at the hips. From here, I want you to fold down, put your hands down like you're going to do a push-up. All right. We're not actually going to do push-ups, but I'm just demonstrating that you want to be able to support weight with your hands. With some of that weight in your hands, it becomes easier to externally rotate the legs. If somehow you've been on since the very beginning when I talked about leg external rotation, then you're awesome. Congratulations. But if you're joining in new, external rotation looks like this. We're putting the heels down, the toes up, and pointing the knees up. I know I'm wearing solid colored pants, so I'm going to point my knee so that you can see where that curve is. The knee is pointing up. All right. I want you to do that on both legs. When you do that, and your hands are still down on the ground, what we're doing forces the leg bones and the hip bone to get out of the way of each other. You should find that if you start folding down when your hips are a little bit uncomfortable, right now you're probably a little bit deeper and less uncomfortable. And that's because our bones stop hitting each other. And that's a wonderful thing. All right, walk those push-up hands back towards your hips. That'll bring most of your body weight right over your legs, and that'll help you get into a deeper side split, or at least it will give you a lot more pressure into those leg muscles. So you'll wish you were able to do a side split because otherwise you're just suffering. All right. If you're stuck and you can't move, then just hang out here for a second. If you feel like you want to try a little bit more, you can wiggle from side to side and see if you can push your leg out a little bit more and beat friction. This is why we talked about friction earlier. All right, once you cannot move anymore, it's time. Let's start at 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, almost done. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, use those push-up hands. Help yourself crawl forward. Pull your legs together. Come on out of that stretch and come back into standing. Oh, congratulations. We just finished the first side split, but we're not really done. We got to make sure our whole body is kind of working after that little bit of suffering we just did. And what that means is we got to wiggle. I know it looks a little bit funny, but if you shake out your legs and you move your body, you kind of wiggle it around like it's a flopping fish, is the fastest way to help your muscles relax. What we just did was the equivalent of us going and getting all tight and contracted. And the thing we want to do right now is to have all of those muscles that were really tense relax as much as possible. So if you like, we can do dance moves, but really we're just loosening up the muscles. All right, quick check to make sure everything is working. Let's do some hip circles, some hula hooping. Let's lift those knees up high, make sure the hip flexors, everything in the front of the hip is working. Do some mini squats to make sure your ankles and knees are doing what they should be. Kick your because we're slowly going down the leg, and that felt like the natural place to keep going to. I just lost battery on that earbud. So I'm gonna go pull out another one and hope that you can still hear me. Don't know if that is gonna work on this device, but let me give it a shot, and then we'll get right back into round 2 of the side splits. Please connect. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, all right, well, YouTube is just gonna be a little bit quieter than expected. Okay, let's get into round 2. Same thing, if you are brand new to this, get close to a wall so that if you lose balance and you fall backwards, the wall will catch you. All right, everybody. Get into a deep side split position until it gets uncomfortable in the hips. Fold forward, put your hands down like you're gonna do a push-up. With that weight in your hands, it makes it easier to externally rotate the legs. What that means is your heel is down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Okay? Oh, once you have done that, you might notice that it's suddenly easier to get into a deeper stretch. Those are really good things because we're doing side splits. All right, walk those hands back towards your hips, and with more of your body weight in your hips, it will be a more intense stretch. Once you are here and you feel like you're pretty close to your maximum, do that last little wiggle to see if you can beat friction and get into our second round of 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. If this whole time you've had your arms straight and locked out, experiment with bending your elbows. You'll suddenly put a whole bunch more weight back into your hips. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl forward, bring your legs together, come back into standing, and come on, shake out those legs. It looks like I have a weird thing going on TikTok, and I am not sure what it is, but it looks like it is blocking me from being able to see the video. Boom. Okay, I'm back. I hope that did not mean that we got disconnected, but I think because the live has been running a little bit long, we
had or TikTok thought maybe I was a bot or something, and so they gave me a little slidey thing for me to fill out to make sure that I could line the puzzle piece together, and that is why I was really close to the camera and not saying anything. Okay, and that was round 2 of side splits. We have one last one left, but before we get into that one, we gotta do our little muscle checks. All right, if you haven't already, shake out those legs, shake out those arms. I already did a little bit of movement getting back close to the camera, so I know my legs are kind of working. They're good. But let's do the hip circles. Make sure our hips are loosened up after that intense stretch. Do some mini squats to make sure your knees and ankles are good. Raise your knees, kick your butt. And if those are all working, let's get into the third and final side split stretch. Same thing, if you are really close to a wall and you start falling backwards, the wall will catch you and it'll keep you safe. So get close to a wall. All right, let's get into round 3. Open up those legs, drop into a deep split position. Once you start feeling uncomfortable in the hips, fold forward, put your hands down like you're doing a push-up. Externally rotate the legs. Your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Do that on both sides. That will help you get into a deeper side split position. Walk your hands back towards your hips so that all of your body weight is now over your legs, helping you get into the most deep position that you can get into. Do a little wiggle from side to side. See if you can get just a little bit deeper. Break that friction holding your feet back. And if you're totally stuck, it's time to start our last 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. I hope if you're having fun, if you're feeling proud of yourself, you're making good progress in your side splits, done something you haven't done before, you consider hitting follow and subscribe. We do this every single day for about 30, 45 minutes, and we do this every day to build consistency, both for you, for me, to hopefully build up a little community of people who are interested in stretching, interested in hanging out with other people who want to make progress in their hip mobility and their side splits, and hopefully with enough of us together, we can make a whole bunch of progress towards our side split goals. If that sounds interesting, if that sounds fun, then please consider hitting follow, subscribe, get notified, keep coming back. We're doing these every single day, and I hope you'll stick around. All right, I have absolutely no idea how long this has been going, but I think I rambled for a while. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Crawl your hands forward, bring your legs together, and come on out of that side split. Oh, back into standing. Let's do the wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Help relax everything in your body. Shake the legs, flop it around. Dance if you want. I don't actually know how this one goes. Just flop. Flop, flop, flop. Shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And once you're feeling like the muscles are starting to get kind of normal again, let's do our hip circles. I always feel the stretch really intensely in this outer left and outer right front hip. And, okay. It's really helpful, especially on that third round of side splits to do the hula hoop for me. And let's do our high knees, our mini squats, kick ourselves in the butt. And with that, we are done. We are done. We are done. Oh, okay. Congratulations. We have wrapped up a whole really long live video series today. I think I did way too much explaining, but I hope that it was worthwhile. If you've hung around for a while, you've watched the video, I hope you learned a lot of stuff or you were reminded of a lot of stuff, and hopefully you take something away. If I never see you again, I hope you remember one thing that was super beneficial and you'll be able to use for the rest of your life whenever you do stretching. Maybe that was leverage, sticking your arm out, straightening your back so you feel gravity pulling you down, or trying to keep your hips square, or I don't know, wiggling to help you relax your muscles as fast as possible. Hope something was useful. I hope something good to take away. And I hope you had so much fun that you'll consider coming back and hanging out with me tomorrow because I plan to be here. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you feel proud that you just did a crap ton of work and got a whole entire workout in with me on TikTok. So that's it for me. I hope you hit follow. I hope you hit subscribe. I hope to see you tomorrow. And weirdness 00, double O. or maybe that's just the old school face symbol. I grew up in the internet where you hit like the arrow key, dot and arrow key to like make a face, and now we have emojis, and I really suck at using them, but I can't believe I just admitted that on the internet. Okay, anyways, that's it. Goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I hope you have a great weekend. I hope to see you all soon. Bye.